Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandha Mohi Sabadhana Mate Jahar prasade bhai e bhavatariya jai Krishna prapti hoye jahan hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitate Koi Voyeka Vakya Arana Kori Hamane Asa Shri Guru Charane Rati Yehi Se Utama Gati Ye Prasade Pure Sarvam Asha चक्षुदान दिलजे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ ते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाइन जाहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिन्धु आदम जनर बन्धु लोकेनाथ लोकेर जीवना प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे पद छाया देवी आज कुसिकते भुवाना श्रील प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasata Desatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan
Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavali
Keshi Gata Vansi Gata Dwadasa Kanan Jaha Savalila Kailo Sri Nanda Nanda
Keshi Ghata Vamsi Vata Dwadasa Kanana Yaha Sarvalila Koila Sinanda Nandana
Sri Nanda Jasoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan Sri Dhamadi Jaya Jaya Denu Vasargan
Jaya 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 Gopagan Siddhamadi Jaya Jaya Dhyanu Vasagan
Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kriti Dasundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Aviranagari
Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Aviranagari
Jaya Jaya Gopishora Vrindavana Maj Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Vatu Dvijaraj
Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavana Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Vatu Dvijaraj
Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jatajan
Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rogini Nandana Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasiyatajan
Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan Bhagate Jahar Pailo Govinda Charan
Jaya Dija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan Bhakti Kheta Hara Paila Govinda Charan
Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Syam Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manara
Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radhe Syam जय जय रस लीला सर्व मनोरम।
जय जय ज्वल रस सर्वरस सार पर किया भाव जहाँ बजते प्रचार।
जय जय जल रस सर्व रस सार पर किया भावे जहाँ वैजंती प्रचार।
श्री जानव पद पद्म कुरिया स्मरा दीन कृष्ण दासे कहे नाम संकीर्तन।
नव पाद पद्म करिया स्मरण दीन कृष्ण दास कहे नाम संकीर्तन।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री राधा माधव हरि की राधा गोविंद की जय। श्रीनाथी गोपाल की जय। गौर निताय की जय। पंचतत्व भगवान की जय। श्री नरसिंह साली प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद गुरु पूजा की जय। दाई गौर प्रेमी।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bolo, bolo, everybody. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava
Kunjavihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Guru Premanandi, Srila Prabhupada ki, Granta Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samavita Bhaktivinoda ki, Guru Premanandi. It's too loud, Prabhu. It's whistling there in the back. Om Gyantimandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshunmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manupistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakaramayam Nadati Swavadantikam Namam Vishnupada Keshavasa Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachayane Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pasatare Satarine Vanchakapa Tuvasha Kripa Sanuevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Go Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to our Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. So we're reading 10th canto, 20th chapter, verse 35, right? Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarvasvam jalada hitva. Sarvasvam jalada hitva. Vireju shubhavachasa. Vireju shubhavachasa. Yata tyaktaisana shanta. Yata tyaktaisana shanta. Munayo muktakir bisaha. Munayo muktakir bisaha. Sarvasvam jalada hitva. Vireju shubhavachasaha. Yata tyaktaisana shanta. Munayo muktakir bisaha. Somebody wants to chant?
Virejo Shubhravachasaha Yata Tyakteshana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilbishaha Sarvasvam Jaladahitva Vireju Shubhravarchasaha Yatha Takteshana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilbishaha Sarvasvam Jaladahitva Vireju Shubhravarchasaha Yatha Takteshana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilbishaha Sarvasvam Jaladahitva Vireju Shubhravarchasaha Yatha Takteshana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilbishaha Sarvasvam Jaladahitva Vireju Shubhravarchasaha Yatha Takteshana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilbishaha Sarvasvam Jaladahitva Vireju Shubhravarchasaha Yatha Takteshana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilbishaha
Sarvasvam,
Sarvasvam
everything they possess.
Everything they possess
Jaladaha,
Jaladaha
the clouds.
The clouds
Hitva, having given up.
Having given up
Vireju,
Vireju
shown forth.
Shown forth
Shubhra,
Shubhra
pure.
Pure
Vachasaha,
Varchasaha
their effulgence.
Their effulgence
Yata,
Yatha
just as.
Just as
Tyakta Ishana,
Yatha Eshanaha
who have given up all desires.
Who have given up all desires
Shantaha,
Shantaha
pacified.
Pacified
Munayaha,
Nayaha
sages. Mukta Kilbishaha,
Kilbishaha
freed from evil propensities. So we have the translation. The clouds, having given up all they possessed, shone forth with purified effulgence, just like peaceful sages who have given up all material desires and are thus free of all sinful propensities. Purport: when the clouds are filled with water, they are dark and cover the sun's rays, just as the material mind of an impure man covers the soul shining within. But when the clouds pour down their rain, they become white and then brilliantly reflect the shining sun, just as a man who gives up all material desires and sinful propensities becomes purified and then brilliantly reflects his own soul and the Supreme Soul within. Okay, so here the chapter is called The Rainy Season and Autumn. So this whole chapter is a very beautiful description of Vrindavan, and at the same time there's various instructions given in a metaphorical way. So each statement is compared to some metaphorical situation, which is of course relevant for us. So yeah, to begin with, let us remember that Vrindavan is really the perfect setting for the most intimate pastimes of Krishna. Perfect setting. And this whole beautiful description makes us more deeply understand the beauty and wonderful setting for Krishna's amazing pastimes. And of course also Krishna demonstrates to us that village life is really the most happy life, right? Yes, village life, it is getting more and more lost and forgotten. There's a nice movie also with Lokanath Maharaj and Bhakti Vaibhava Maharaj made Lost Village. You know, they're showing how village life is so beautiful. And I also actually grew up in the village in South Germany. And in my childhood, it was so wonderful. Every second house was a farmer with cows, and we were helping the farmers in the fields and turning the hay. Like 60 years ago, we didn't have all these machinery, So many things were done by hand, and we kids were always helping them. And every evening I was going with a milk can to get the milk still warm, straight from the cow. So yeah, I had the most amazing and wonderful childhood actually in the village. So I always feel a little sorry for the kids who grew up in our big cities, and they cannot run and play and have a close contact to nature and so on. This is actually very important for the development of the human being. We can see in India all the gurukuls, they're always established in nature, and they really encourage the kids to have this close connection with nature, with the trees and rocks and or the plants and all that. That is so very important, And really Krishna and Balaram, they are demonstrating how to play in the forest and herd the cows and play football with the amalaki fruits and all these kind of things. So that's happy life, that's fun and a happy life, So the first part of this chapter, there mainly the raining season is described, which of course, especially in India after the scorching heat, the rain is such relief, and everything becomes green and lush and so on. And then here now we have the autumn season, which signifies metaphorically that the household duties diminish. In the previous verse and purport this is described. And now autumn is like more the time for deepening our spiritual life and becoming more peaceful, like that. We can even see the seasons like different phases in life, that the spring season, is growth, blossoming, then summer we give byproducts and so on, we are very active. And then autumn, gradually the life span becomes shorter, we become a little older, more settled, hopefully more peaceful. So, and that stage is meant to deepen one's connection with Krishna, so that at the moment of death, we can really remember Krishna alone, right? Yes. Yeah, so, and of course, also in previous purport and this whole discussion here with the seasons, that connects very nicely with the perfect system which Krishna is giving, namely the ashrams. which are very natural phases in life, actually. You see? So the brahmachari ashram, that's meant for spiritual education and training in celibacy, and most devotees in this world don't remain brahmachari all lifelong. It's meant to set the foundation, actually, to all the other ashrams. So I myself was also for 4 years in the Brahmacharini ashram in Sydney in Australia. So for the West, Prabhupada introduced also this ashram life for the ladies, because he could see that traditionally the women are meant to be trained in family life, but this is not given now anymore because so many devotees, parents, they are not devotees. So therefore, and even if they are devotees, they also often don't get so much actual training in family life. And it is also so much better if the ladies actually get trained outside of the home in many ways, because family relationships always give also some over-familiarity and so on. So this student life in celibacy, that is such important part. If one can take advantage of, one should fully take that opportunity. Even if it's just 6 months, 12 months, it is a very valuable experience to actually live in the temple and get good habits of sadhana, right? That we accept these habits of getting up early and having Mangalarti and chanting japa, hearing Bhagavatam. So this is such a fundamental practice in spiritual life, which we really more easily accept in our life if we had that experience living in the temple and just being able to simply serve, not having to worry about paying bills and so many things. So it is a very valuable experience. So, and then for most devotees comes the next phase, the Grihastha ashram. And actually, interesting to understand, all ashrams are meant to help us to give up our independence. Because that's why we are here in the material world. Because we want to be independent, ultimately independent from Krishna. So each ashram teaches us to give up this independence. So as brahmachari, no independence. True brahmachari should not even have his own bank account. You know? No independence. So then grihastha life, we are given a little bit more independence, but ultimately we are also not independent, because there's husband, there's wife, there's kids, there's so many duties. So it is a very minute independence, and in grihastha life Krishna wants to see how we use this little independence. Do we really want to make Krishna our main priority in life? Or is our main priority in life on material economic development, material progress, and so on? So there is only room for one priority, because very often we try to have two priorities, economic development and material satisfaction and development and so on. But then naturally Krishna consciousness is a sideline. The focus is then not on Krishna consciousness. Or the other choice is to really make bhakti our main and foremost goal in life and priority. And we are satisfied to earn whatever we need to keep body and soul together, to live very simple and really clearly understand my main goal is to get out of here. to go back to Godhead, right? So, and that is not such a cheap thing, so we have to really concentrate on that and focus. So, family life, it is a bit of a challenge, to balance the material needs and duties and the spiritual needs and duties. So that requires actually education and also ongoing guidance. Because very easily we may think, yeah, we are doing great, but yeah, somebody who has an aloof position can maybe see that, oh no, our spiritual life is not so balanced, and we don't give enough watering to the Bhakti Lata. So here we are in Arizona, not much rain falling. You have all kinds of desert vegetation here, cactus and so many things. So they can get by with only a few drops of water. But Bhakti Lata, tropical plant, needs heaps of water. So just a few drops, and the watering, of course, for the Bhakti Lata is Shravanam Kirtanam, to hear and chant. So that's the watering process. Yeah. So if we just give our Bhakti Lata only 2 drops of water a week, then we will not harvest the fruits. Maybe some half-dead Bhakti Lata is there, or shriveled up and not lush and green, some kind of a desert version of Bhakti Lata. But fruits, flowers will not be there. Definitely not. Anybody who has ever done a little bit of gardening, or if you have some pot plants in your home, these days people only have plastic pot plants, so, then no need to water, no need to give any care, but we don't want to grow a plastic Bhakti Lata, Plastic Bhakti Lata, where we pretend, and we pretend, but yeah, there's no watering, and it's just some external thing there, That also can be happening in Krishna consciousness, just some show, Yeah, connecting with that. I'm not a friend of using plastic flowers. Definitely not on the altar. And even decorations, For me, plastic flower is the symbol of plastic bhakti. Hypocrisy, We pretend we offer a nice flower, but it's plastic, no smell, nothing. On the altar, it's even an offense to offer a flower which has no smell. What to speak of plastic, It's actually an offense. It's plastic bhakti. So we don't want to cultivate plastic bhakti, that, no need to give any water, But now we have to give the Bhakti Lata lots of water. And this is the main challenge in Grihastha life, that very easily we get so caught up in all our family duties and work and paying off our big mortgages for our huge houses. And then there is no time. But all that at the moment of death will be insignificant completely. We have to keep this in mind. Whatever we think now is so important, at the moment of death, zero importance. Curtain closes, show is over, it's all finished. The only thing which is important at the moment of death is our relationship with Krishna. That's eternal reality. That's the only thing we're allowed to keep. And very often, I mean, I have accompanied quite a few devotees in this last phase of life. And very often, there's some lamentation there when they face death, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks. I have supported and accompanied devotees in that phase. And very often there's some lamentation there. Oh, I blew it again. Again, I blew it. I gave so much time and energy to so many other things, but they are all now completely insignificant and unimportant. And I didn't get it right, Yes, so I've met quite a few devotees like that. And at the moment, when we come towards death, then we realize, all these big achievements, big, beautiful house, what's the use of it all? Yes, no use. Serious thing, serious matter. Yeah, so that's why, if we are serious in really cultivating bhakti, if we are striving for bhakti and not just some pious religious life, we have to get the balance right. And I mean, there is strong statements in the Bhagavatam. There's strong statements that a grihastha is only entitled to keep for himself whatever is necessary to keep body and soul together, and not more than that. And if we take more, we are a thief. Yeah, that's what Bhagavatam says. And the chapter, Idea of Family Life, I think it's 7th canto, 12th chapter or something. We are a thief. We are stealing from Krishna because actually all the opulences is meant for him and not for our use. And Bhagavatam says, so if we are a thief, we get some punishment. So I think, there's quite a few thieves around who are keeping more for their enjoyment than actually what we are entitled to. These instructions are very clearly in the Bhagavatam, but yet who really follows them and implements them in their life, Yes. So it is a challenge, Yes. And going back to the watering process, if we think that we can make spiritual advancement just coming once a week to the temple on Sunday, that is not enough watering. Very clear. 100%. 100% clear. I mean, this is probably the main and foremost reason why I survived for 41 years in Krishna consciousness, and I'm still a happy and enthusiastic devotee, because we arranged our life in such a way that we had plenty of watering for the Bhakti ladder. Even during my 10 years of married life, I was married for 10 years, we were full in the fire of service, establishing the first more organized temple in the former Soviet Union. We were living next to the temple, or sometimes inside the temple in a little room, and we were there every day for some part of the program. So just once a week for the Sunday program, not enough Shravanam Kirtanam. Definitely not. Because also Sunday program is an outreach program. It's actually a preaching program. It's for newcomers. So usually the lectures are more simple and general, so everybody can relate to them. But it should actually be a preaching opportunity for the regularly practicing devotees. But even that often we don't understand. And we just go to the Sunday feast program just to meet our friends and talk to them and socialize, But now it's the foremost preaching program. Actually, when I was in the ashram in Sydney, I was trained like that. We had to, every Sunday program, we had to sit next to somebody at Prasadam and talk to them. And when we were too mental and hiding in the ashram, temple president came, knocked on the door. Hey girls, where are you? Get out. Talk to the people. And he would scan the audience and say, you talk to that person, you talk to this person, you talk to that person. So yeah, that's how I was trained. We had to talk to people because sometimes newcomers come and not a single person talks to them. Especially if they're in a Western body, they will never come again. They will say, well, this is just for Indian people here and nobody even talked to me. Because what makes the visit at the temple memorable is the personal exchange, that somebody talked to me and asked, oh, who are you? Great to have you here. What are you doing? And But if nobody talks to my mother, it happened to my mother too. When I joined in Australia, I didn't come home for 4 years, so my parents were very worried. So I told them, go to the Sunday program in Heidelberg. That was the nearest temple to where my parents lived. So then they went there, but nobody talked to them. Nobody, and they had a very sad and weird experience, and they never went back. And the experience was not very positive, because when you're completely new, especially in the Western body, you don't know what is this kid done and this and that. So we have to talk to people, make friends with them, and then they want to come back. Yes. Yeah, so very, very important. Yeah, but all the more seriously practicing devotees, they should have some other days during the week where they attend some sanghas, not just online. Online, okay, it was okay. During pandemic, we were forced to online meetings. But now pandemic is over. And the whole thing is, if we actually hear directly from a person's mouth, you get the subtle energy. You get that energy of consciousness. Whereas the camera lens cannot capture that. That's an important thing to know. Even in mundane terms, when people talk about communication, they have this communication pie. And they say 7% of the communication is transmitted merely by the words. Only 7%. That's why text messages, if you don't know each other, you can really misunderstand each other because you don't know with what mood and emphasis a person says something. But if you only get the words, 7% of the total communication. Then 35%, just switch off the phone, can you? Or go outside and insert. I don't want to have this ringing all the time. So 35% comes from the tone of voice and emphasis. So that's why phone calls are much better than just text messages. Because at least you hear the mood and the voice and tone of voice and emphasis, how a person says something. So 7 and 35 is 42. There's 58% missing. That comes through personal association. Yeah. Because by a person's body language and more subtle through his mood and energy and consciousness, that's the main thing we capture. So, can you switch this off, Prabhu? Or leave the phone outside, let them ring back later? Just put the phone outside. They can ring in half an hour or 15 minutes. Yes, so very important to know these things. When we watch things online, we get maximum 37%. Hang on. 35 and 7, 42. So maximum 42% we capture. But the subtleties, the power of consciousness, the spiritual energy, we cannot capture through the lens. So we are missing out. Definitely. We get something little, but not the main thing. That we only capture when we hear from a person's mouth directly. And I mean, we all have the experience when we stand in front of the deities. This is a whole different experience than just looking at the picture online. The today's darshan online, right? Because there's a whole transcendental energy emanating from the deities, which the camera lens cannot capture. So yeah, this modern technology, it has a few good sides, but also we have to use it with knowledge and controlled senses and mind. Otherwise we cheat ourselves, And plus the whole way to the temple, that's parikrama. That's a whole part of the purifying process. We actually should walk. We shouldn't even drive, actually. But okay, let's be a little practical. You're allowed to drive, But yeah, that's how we express our eagerness, our greed. I want to be there with the devotees and hear the Bhagavatam and have a Prabhupada Guru Puja. That's how Rupa Goswami says we need lolyam, intense greed. So that means nothing can stop me from going to the temple, associating with devotees. That's the mood. Yes. So we have to cultivate greed for Krishna if we want pure bhakti. Yes. So, and of course also, not only at the temple the programs should be attended, but there should be house programs regularly. This is the foremost duty of a grihastha, to receive guests in his home and feed them. Yes, that's the number one purifying duty of a grihastha. And there is one purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Prabhupada says, when he thinks back of his childhood, there was not a single day where they didn't have minimum 4 guests for prasadam. Every day minimum 4 guests. So, Bengal, it means some days 6, 8, 10 guests, but never less than 4. That's family life as an ashram, to really incorporate these duties, So all right, these days husband and wife often both work, but at least at the weekends, or one day a week, one evening a week, Friday evening, Saturday evening, there should be some guests in our house. And we feed them. Doesn't have to be 15-hour feasts, like I often experience on house programs, there's so much eating. No, we mainly come so we nourish the soul. And all right, a little bit of prasadam we also give, but the foremost thing is the nourishment of the soul. Not that we are so busy and caught up with the cooking, that we can't even attend the talk, then we're missing the whole thing, Yes. So house programs is the main and foremost way for grihasthas to preach. That they open their doors, receive the Vaishnavas, and there's some little katha, some kirtan, some little prasadam, some personal exchanges, some katha about devotional life. Yeah, house programs, that's the secret of cultivating a community. Because temple programs are also important, but they're a little more formal and official, right? But the house programs, that's where people connect more on a personal basis, Yes. So that's the main and foremost way for grihastas to actually preach, to have house programs in their home. And they don't have to give the lecture always themselves. They can invite others, to come. Like on my visit, we had so many nice house programs. But they should happen regularly, even if there's not a visiting preacher. One should get together and have some kirtan, chant a bit of one round japa together, somebody gives some talk, and some question and answer, some discussion, and then some little prasadam, And if we attend these programs regularly, at least once a week there should be one of these programs, Then actually the bhakti ladder becomes more nourished, and then we feel more inspiration to actually make more sacrifice for Prabhupada's mission. I mean, for example, in India, when I go to Chaupadi temple, in Mumbai, every evening they have house programs somewhere arranged for me, and they're not just arranged for me, but they're regular house programs. So in every home, there is at least once a week they have a program. Yeah. And people are so keen. They come straight after work, they take their devotional cloth in a plastic bag, they go to the house program, behind a door they get changed, and then they attend the house program, they have their dinner there, they go home and take rest. That's Vaishnava life. Yes. Yeah, that's the standard. In India, so much traffic jam. Mumbai, oh my God, it's actually hellish to live there. So congested, such bad air. And people sit in traffic jams for 8 hours. But still, they come, they find time, yes. And it's such a lively community, So we can take inspiration from these places, and if our family life is actually an ashram, where bhakti is the main focus, then very naturally, when the kids are more or less established in life, we move on to the next phase, which is the Vanaprastha ashram. Yeah. That's the autumn season here, where we get more deeply absorbed, and then it becomes very natural. But if our family life was not that much of an ashram, then we simply don't get that necessary purification and spiritual maturity to actually take to a very simple life. Vanaprastha ashram, we should actually leave behind our big cozy homes. Either sell it, rent it out, pass it on to the kids, and we should just have some little base, just somewhere, a room with the minimal facilities, just what we need, bathing place, like when we go to Vrindavan. So we just rent somewhere a little room with a bed and a desk and a chair, some shelves, and bathing place. That's enough. We actually don't need more than that. Yes. And if we actually free ourselves from these big burdens of having to maintain big houses and this and that, this is so liberating. It creates so much free space in the mind, so Krishna can take his place there. I've been living like this for 26 years out of a suitcase. I don't have anywhere a big flat with a whole big bookshelf, nothing, no. Books, for example, I cannot store. I simply read them and give them away. Yes. And all right, in Cologne Temple, I have 2 suitcases packed in the cellar with warm winter clothes, and I repack. But that's it. That's it. Very liberating. Then you can really freely move around, and you can more deeply focus on spiritual practice, and then hopefully at the moment of death we come to the point where we can remember Krishna alone, and then we get back to God, out of here, you know. But yeah, a very important part of Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is not just retiring from work and no more physical intimacy with a husband or wife. No, there's so much more to it. So much more. We have to detach ourselves and, you know, dive more deeply into spiritual practice. Yeah. All right. Maybe just let me take my very last opportunity. Is there anybody online? Online? Just out of interest. So let me say one more time quickly a few words about these books, because today is really the last chance to get any. Tomorrow early morning I'm leaving, you know, and then once I'm leaving I send a message to Mayapur and the books are coming. So, Spiritual Culture, Krishna's Divine System. This book is all about women. We women have a very powerful Shakti. We are meant to be the power of inspiration to the men, and we are not meant to compete with the men. So every woman who wants to have harmonious relationships with men in her life, she should read this. It's also very suitable for teenage girls, you know. And also the men should also read it. Actually in India they use this book as a handbook for brahmachari training, even though the whole book is about women. But just that the brahmacharis also understand what's the role of a woman, you know. This I have in Russian language. Then we have Sheltering Relationships. This is all about the importance of having a counselor, a mentor. Very important topic. Just having guru, not enough. We need this well-wishing friend who helps to balance our life, especially also in Grihastha ashram. You know, very easily we don't get the balance right if we don't have this person who taps us on the shoulder and says, hey, you know, you're not enough, you know, not giving enough attention to your bhakti ladder, you know. Yes, otherwise we can really miss the balance, you know. And every family problem can also be solved if people accept guidance and are willing to work on themselves, rather than blaming the other person all the time. This is often what happens in married life, that people just blame the other person and then they don't receive any purification, they're not working on themselves, and very often it leads to divorce, you know. Yeah. Then we have the false ego, our constant companion and troublemaker. That one I also have in Russian. Yes. So false ego is so subtle, we usually miss it. You know, and very nicely we can feed and boost the false ego instead of subduing and dissolving it. Like when we get offended, so often that happens, it's because of the false ego crying for justice. And there's a whole chapter on chanting, how we are meant to chant, so it actually subdues and dissolves the false ego. Then we have a handbook for matchmaking. Entering the Grihastha ashram, how to see that a man and a woman are compatible for marriage. Very important topic, you know, because wherever I go, there's so many ladies and also men who want to be married and should be married, but nobody helps them to find a compatible partner. So there's a whole list of 200 topics which both should discuss to see, do we have similar goals and moods and visions of life? And there's all different things what to consider when we, you know, look at different candidates and the whole process, how the matchmaking should happen and how it should not happen. And then we have family life as an ashram, secrets of success. So that's the whole thing, book about, it's a handbook for successful Krishna conscious family life. How to actually really put Krishna as your main and foremost priority. How to balance, nourishing the bhakti ladder and our material duties. There's so many things in this book. And there's a whole chapter on physical intimacy and marriage, how to live this principle of no illicit sex life. Nobody talks about it. People are often at a loss. They don't know how to make things work. So I did some research. I came across so many interesting episodes with Prabhupada where he says things which most people have not heard. And so they add a whole different perspective to the topic. And last but not least, the Vanaprastha. We touched upon it a little bit, but there's a whole book about it. How to actually spend this last phase in life in Krishna consciousness to really prepare to meet death with joy. There's a whole chapter on death, what happens there on all the subtle levels, how to prepare, and how to support others. It's such an important service because, our parents are leaving, senior devotees are leaving, sooner or later we are leaving. We have to know, we have to be educated how to give that maximum support to a person. So I've accompanied quite a few people, my own parents. They had a wonderful departure. I managed to capture that moment where I had to fly back immediately to Germany, park and cancel all my preaching. I was worried, how will I really capture this moment? And I really wanted to be there for them. And by Krishna's arrangement, I managed. And both my parents had an amazing departure. They were so glad I kept them at home. I helped them to focus, to let go and move on, and wow, they did it in a wonderful way, even though they were not regularly chanting Hare Krishna. But we need association, All right, so if there is still somebody who didn't get the books they want to get, the last 4 are $20 each, the first 2 are $15. Many people got the whole set, so there's a little discount for the whole set, $100 for the whole set. So you can pay cash, Venmo, Zelle. And if there's anybody online, well, I'm staying with Shyam Gopal Prabhu and his good wife, so if you inform him, please put me on the list, then you may be able to get on the list. Okay. Yes, I think there's no time left for questions. Or do we have time? Do we want to ask for questions, Mataji? Is there any question?
This is the comment, this is the chapter, 20th chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. Prabhupada wrote that book, what's that? Bhagavatam? No, that.
What?
This book.
Krishna book?
No, he wrote this book, Light of Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Based on 10th canto,
Okay.
20th chapter, seasons of.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you for that comment. All right, anything else? All right, so then let's finish. And once again, I thank you very much for receiving me here in Phoenix. I had a wonderful time. We had so many nice programs. So I wish you all the very best for your cultivation of the Bhakti ladder. Give it a bit more water. In the desert it will not grow and flourish and bear fruits. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki, Gaura Premanandi, Hare Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay.
The messages didn't come through. We had for some reason.
The messages did not.
The chat was not working.
Oh. Well, but I mean, I said I'm staying with Chant with her.